Today I'm going to install the Plastic SCM for version control to Unity. Now, like many programs that are doing game design that were using Unity previously, we were using the Unity Colab as well as GitHub to manage our projects and be able to share them easily between students and faculty. Now that Unity has purchased the Plastic SCM for version control and has begun integrating that into Unity, we're going to make that transition over to the Plastic SCM. So let's walk through the process of getting this installed. This first time through, I'm going to install it with the Gluon focus, which is less about the management of branches and just gives us a place to be able to save projects easily. It's more of an artist approach to version control. So the first thing we need to do is jump up here to the asset store, type in Plastic SCM, and do the download and import to get it onto the machine. Once the import is finished into Unity, then you can go up to Window here at the top and click on Plastic SCM. That will open up a new tab down at the bottom. At least that's where it's located on my system. Click on the OK button and it'll start the installation process. That will take you to the Plastic SCM website so that you can decide which version of Plastic SCM that you need to use. Most situations, the Cloud Edition is going to take care of everything that you need to do. So just click on the download on that, get the right version for your computer system, and it'll start the installation process. It's about 180 megabyte installation. Go through the normal setup configuration information, set your installation directory that you're going to run Plastic SCM from, go with the default selection on components unless you've got a special situation set up, and that'll start the installation for Plastic. Once you're finished with that and you click on your Finish button, you should go back to Unity and click on the Launch Plastic. That'll start up the Plastic configuration system for work with Unity. And again, this is a very quick installation. Just click your Next and set up your Plastic SCM account using your email address that you've hopefully already created. If not, create an account. Then set your organization name. For this particular project, I set the organization name as my consulting business instead of my university. Again, I'm using the Gluon system on this, which is a simplified because I'm a fairly small organization and I'm not really worried about creating a tree and branch and merge system using the version control of Plastic. That would be the traditional Plastic. So once you've got that set, just simply double check that your organization was created correctly, hit your continue button, and then this is where you're going to select whether you're using traditional Plastic or Gluon. I'm using Gluon for this example. I'm going to create another tutorial at a later time going over Plastic for developers and how you can use that with your different projects. Once you've got that configured, go ahead and set up a repository name for your project. I'm going to call this project Multiplayer Book because that's what I'm doing. I'm working with multiplayer configurations for Unity and I'm writing a book about that. Check to make sure that it's setting that up correctly. Set where it's going to set your workspace. Now, this is critical. When you're configuring your workspace, don't go with the default. If you've already created a Unity project, set that working directory or your workspace to wherever you're storing your assets for your Unity project. So change that, and here I've changed it to where my multiplayer project is configured. Once you've got that configured, you will launch the Plastic SCM application on your system. You can see that it's basically broken up into 4 different components. You've got your workspace that you're working with, what's been checked in, what needs to be checked out, or your incoming, and then whatever saved to the server for your various projects. So by default, it's not going to have anything selected the first time that you run this. Just go ahead and select the top, and it'll add all of your assets if you've already started a project and you're going to integrate that. Then click the check-in and submit it. As you can see, my incoming doesn't have anything, which it shouldn't. And then here's my change sets for what's been already configured. Once you've configured that and launched that the first time, when you go back to Unity, to your Plastic SCM tab, you can see that the Plastic SCM tab is almost exactly the same as the Plastic SCM application. So again, you can select what changes needs to be uploaded, and you're set to go. Now I'm using the free version of Plastic SCM for this particular installation, which does limit me to 5 gigabytes of storage on the cloud system. Should be plenty for this particular project, but as anybody who's worked on a larger project before with any kind of game development software, you know that that can be something that you can quickly use up. So do be careful on what's being stored on your cloud space, or you'll be starting to pay a monthly fee. If you're an educational institution, make sure that you contact Plastic SCM and tell them your education and that you would like the educational discount for doing this. Okay, so that's how we set it up for the Gluon or the artist version of versioning control for use with Unity. The next version of this I'll run through and do it as a larger organization, and we'll have the merge and branches and all the traditional versioning control integrated into this. If you've got any questions, be sure to mention it in the comments below or hit the like and subscribe. Thanks.